Okay, so welcome everyone to the session. So just a few quick reminders before we get started. So it is being recorded, and we'll share all of these materials, the recording and the slides, with you afterwards. If you're a customer or partner, you can stay tuned on our LinkedIn channels to get these materials as well. Also, this webinar is open to both internal and external audiences. So very warm welcome to customers, partners, and also our SAP colleagues as well. If you have questions throughout the session, please feel free to drop them into the Q&A tool. So not the chat, since the chat is only visible to myself and my co-hosts here. So we want your questions to also be visible and the answers as well to the other audience members. So please be sure to use the Q&A tool for that. So I'd like to introduce myself and my co-speakers today. So my name is Ishmael Xavier, and I'm a product manager for SAP Build. And today, co-presenting with me is Robert Wasserman. He's a product manager for SAP Mobile Start. And then we also have Sebastian Francisco. He's a development manager for SAP CAP. So we'll hear a little bit later from Robert and Sebastian. So before we get into the latest innovations, I wanted to share a little bit about our vision for SAP Build and how that's kind of setting the stage for these new releases. So hopefully everyone here is already an expert in Build, but if you're not, here's just a quick kind of refresher recap. So SAP Build is, of course, your governed extension layer for your business. So we do this by enabling clean core development across apps, workflows, AI agents, and digital workspaces. So whether your teams are working code first with low code or with embedded AI, they can build and ship up to 3 times faster, and always without compromising their standards or control. It's also fully integrated with SAP Business Suite, also SAP Business Data Cloud, and SAP Business AI. So basically, Build is how you extend the suite with tools that understand your business context. It also taps into trusted data and plugs directly into your end-to-end processes. And this deep integration means that every app, automation, or AI agent that you build is ready to run at enterprise scale from day one. And also AI is embedded throughout SAP Build. So we have Joule for developers, which is bringing Gen AI directly into the build experience. And we'll share a few updates around that today. This is also powered by SAP's proprietary models and trained on real business logic. So helping teams to generate secure code and logic with confidence. And in terms of pre-built content, SAP Build includes over 500 pre-built solutions, and this is spanning across different lines of business, such as finance, HCM, supply chain, procurement, and more. And these are always enterprise-ready templates from SAP and partners that are designed to be adapted and not starting from scratch. And in the bigger picture, of course, SAP Build is a part of the SAP Business Technology Platform, which enables even the most complex organizations to create a fully integrated foundation for developing solutions. So hopefully this gives you a small idea of what SAP Build strategy is and also the kind of direction that we're heading in for the future. So with that, I think then we can take a quick look at some of the innovations we'll be sharing today. So of course, we'll share what's new in AI-powered development, and then we'll show some of the other enhancements across app dev and automation. We'll talk about some of the latest innovations in the mobile area, and Robert will share a live demo of some of the newest features for SAP Mobile Start. And then finally, we'll share a live demo of MCP servers, which are now available in SAP Build. And at the end, we may have a couple minutes left for Q&A, but I can't guarantee this since we do have a packed agenda. So, of course, feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A tool throughout the sessions. All right, so getting right into AI-powered development. So the first innovation that we want to share today is all about how to enhance your workflows by generating SQL statements directly in SAP Build. So previously in SAP HANA Cloud, it's already been possible to generate SQL statements through the SQL console. Now, directly in SAP Build code, the Joule panel also offers a new command to generate SQL statements. So using natural language, developers can also review and refine those statements within the Joule panel. And this also lets you copy the statements to an SQL console or directly execute it inside the Joule panel. And so this is really speeding up the development process, allowing for faster troubleshooting and demo creation, as well as improving the overall quality and allowing for better collaboration across your dev teams. And now moving over to work zone. So you can now make your daily work even smarter because Joule is now integrated into SAP Build Workzone Advanced Edition. So at the end of last year, we brought it to Standard Edition, and now we're happy to announce that it's accessible in both. So this is now helping to bring the Gen AI powered experience to an even broader set of users. And I'll give a short example of some of the new capabilities here. So for example, to prepare for a client meeting, a sales manager could instantly use Joule to pull up some account details, a recent order history, and check open support tickets from multiple backend systems all in one place. So instead of logging into different applications and cross-checking the data manually, the manager can get a consolidated view within seconds. So this is really eliminating the hassle of jumping around different systems, also reducing the time wasted on searching for information, and allowing the employees to really focus on the topics that are most important. Also within WorkZone, now you can update your team within minutes with AI-powered content creation. So this performs tasks like summarizing long documents within seconds, creating content for WorkZone pages, or also generating comments there. So one common issue here is that employees might spend sometimes hours drafting and refining their updates, their reports, or communications, and this really slows down productivity. So the most important insights, these might also get buried sometimes in a lot of information, and this makes it harder to kind of identify what are the most important details. So now you can kind of see an animation of how this is looking with the AI-powered content creation. And it's really helping to reduce those inefficiencies. So enabling the employees to, get aligned quickly, distill that critical information, and ultimately driving smarter and more agile work. And these are just a few updates around how we're infusing AI into your digital workplaces and also your developer workflows. And later on, Sebastian will show more on that with a demo of the MCP servers. But for now, we can also take a look at some of the other enhancements for app dev and automation. So over to UI5. This quarter, we have rolled out a new way to future-proof your code. So the team has introduced a legacy-free UI5 framework with deprecated code removed. So this basically means that app developers can validate their code for compliance to SAP UI5 best practices in a non-productive environment. They can also report any issues to the UI5 team and provide technical feedback here as well. So with this new framework, you can not only test how compliant your existing code is, but also ensure that your new code is state of the art and future proof. And there's also been a customer engagement initiative around this topic, and Oliver Griff has written a very detailed blog post about this in case you're interested. But overall, looking forward, this is a crucial step for improving performance, reducing maintenance efforts, and enabling faster innovation for both the UI5 framework itself and all applications built with SAP UI5 and Open UI5. All right, and another significant milestone from Q3. So you can now create full stack ABAP projects directly in SAP Build. And this can be done in a few ways. So using the SAP Build lobby to start a full stack ABAP project, creating a new dev space for full stack applications, or you can open an existing ABAP project for enhancement in SAP Build. You can also model your application using the graphical modeler and generate ABAP development objects there. But in general, by leveraging these high productivity tools in SAP Build, this significantly accelerates the time to market, also improves collaboration and fusion development, as well as providing a standardized, compliant approach to building extensions. And we do have a lot of content planned around this innovation for SAP TechEd this year. So definitely stay tuned for that. And also, if you're in Berlin for that, I encourage you to check out this deep dive session from the product team to learn more about this topic. Okay, and over to process automation. We're now making it possible to resolve your automation issues faster with dedicated maintenance projects. So previously, only one editable project version was available at a time for a given project. So when a change or a bug fix was required on a specific released or deployed version, there was no functionality to create an editable project based on that version and then release it as a patch. So now with the availability of maintenance projects, process owners can create bug fixes on a specific project version and also maintaining parallel versions that they can edit while keeping the latest one in place. And overall, this is giving even more flexibility in maintaining the different projects, and it lets the team really focus on solving those problems quickly without having to start over from scratch. Okay, so this has covered some of our latest innovations in app dev and automation. Now I will share some of the latest innovations in mobile. And before we get to Mobile Start, I would just share a few developments around mobile development. So for SDK, they've released their latest version with several updates to UI controls. So for example, now it's possible to support date range selection and special event indicators in the calendar selection. Developers can also enable a read-only state, attachment limits, and required field indicators for forms. So these are just a few of the latest updates to MDK, and the new capabilities are making it even easier for mobile developers to build an app once and then run it natively, as well as creating more sophisticated UI controls for mobile users. So now that we have kind of talked about the development side of things, I think we can turn it over to the user and access side of things. And now I'll hand it over to Robert to share about SAP Mobile Start.
Perfect, Esme. Thank you so much. And also warm welcome from my side. SAP Mobile Start, brief recap on 2 slides, is the native mobile entry point into the SAP Business Suite. And it's also the mobile companion app for our SAP central entry points like SAP Start, SAP Build Workzone Standard Edition, SAP Build Workzone Advanced Edition, and SAP SuccessFactors Workzone. The overall objective of SAP Mobile Start is to deliver an integrated application that really supports the end user to deliver their day-to-day activities wherever they are and at whichever time they need to access their business processes and other business critical data. When it comes to the value proposition, there are 2 main factors that I always highlight. First, obviously, there's the requirement to seamlessly be able to access the most relevant business content on the mobile device of choice. And that can be your phone, a tablet, or even the smartwatch. And for the Apple ecosystem, also the Apple Vision Pro. And part of that is, and Esme already shared with you that with the October release now also, Joule will be made available in SAP Build Workzone Advanced. We already, together with SAP Build Workzone Standard, have been supporting our Copilot Joule since Q4 last year. So the end users can obviously leverage the capabilities delivered by Joule. On top of that, customers can choose to integrate web applications, so Fiori UI5 apps, for example, coming from the SAP S/4HANA business applications. An example would be here employee self-service applications, but obviously also the relevant critical business processes. Custom or partner built applications can be integrated as well. And when it comes to the native side of the house, obviously also SAP's native LOB applications like SAP SuccessFactors mobile app, Ariba, Concur, and others like the SAP Service and Asset Manager, but also third-party native applications can be integrated and made available to the end user. Secondly, we also enable the end users to make full use of the business critical information that is being pushed their way. That can be SAP S/4HANA situations, notifications in-app or push, obviously, and also tasks and workflows coming from the SAP Task Center service. And all of that in a great user experience with a superior performance. Now, looking at what's new in version 2.4, that we brought to the market. And here are the headlines. So one critical requirement from customer side was to also provide top news on the start screen. Then the push notifications now are enabled to show more text, specifically also sensitive text. We delivered an additional AI capability by integrating SAP Document AI. We enabled site switching across the two operating systems, Android and Apple iOS, that we are supporting. And we now also enable an onboarding via a deep link that the administrator can send out to the end user. Let's start with the top news. As I mentioned, this was a requirement coming from some of our largest Mobile Start customers. And obviously, the idea here is to keep the end user informed, specifically also about company-related information. And that is why the desire was there to showcase these top news in a dedicated section in a larger format with larger images on the start screen. These are configurable with the SAP Build Work Zone Site Manager. And what is important is that the news can now also hide behind an authentication wall, so the customer can enable these news through our standard BTP authentication methods. Support of news images was available before, but again, for the top news, these are much larger. I will demo this feature later on in my demo part. Then push notifications. This has been around forever, basically starting when we launched SAP Mobile Start. But now the admin can also enable sensitive details for push notifications. These sensitive texts will be displayed securely for the end user, and overall this obviously delivers a much better user experience, because the end user, by looking at the text, can already detect what kind of information is behind that notification without the need to open the app itself. Next one is integration with SAP Document AI, a central SAP service. This allows the end user using SAP Mobile Start to either scan a document with the built-in device camera, or upload documents from files or an image library by previously selecting the document type. And as soon as the, for example, document is scanned, it can be sent back to the central SAP Document AI service. And from there, it is being processed to the underlying backend applications. Profile screen. The profile screen received an update. We have been displaying the app and content language already back from version 2.3. But with the latest release 2.4, we now also enable the site switching for iOS from directly here within the profile settings. This is also a feature I will demo shortly. And then last but not least, this is also a very important customer requirement. Customers would like to be able to send an onboarding link via email to selected users, specifically also external users, to allow them to download the Mobile Start application, either from the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, or through MDM support, mobile device management. And through the link, the onboarding information to the respective SAP Build workzone or SAP Start system will then be transferred into SAP Mobile Start. So this is another easy way how to onboard end users on top of the capabilities we've had before. This is scanning a QR code for those end users that have access to SAP Start or Build workzone on the desktop side, or as mentioned here, through a corporate mobile device management system. Let's jump into the demo of the feature. So this is SAP Mobile Start. Briefly recapping, on the bottom of the screen, you can see the three main menus: the Start menu, the Application menu, and the To-Do menu, where the task and workflows and also situations coming from SAP S/4HANA are being shown and are actionable. And the first feature are obviously the top news, which are shown here on the top of the start screen in a separate section. And upon clicking on that respective news tile, the news opens up, the end user can read through it. And in this case, obviously, that's an SAP internal news. For customers, that means that they, again, can share secretly also behind an authorization wall company news to the end users. The second feature is being able to switch between different work zone sites. And this is an important capability, again, that we started shipping with SAP Mobile Start 2.3, because we have customers that have multiple productive sites, but also users, primarily admins, at customer sites that have development queue systems and then development systems. And before that, they've always had to offboard and onboard manually to the respective site. And with this feature now, we enable them to do that from within the application. In order to be able to show you that feature, I have to leave the demo. I agree to these terms and conditions. And now I already receive the information that I can use my primary login, or I can choose the switch sites feature. And here we obviously are running SAP Mobile Start in-house as well. So the default site is SAP IT, the Launchpad site. I have two demo environments connected to SAP Mobile Start, and I could also add a new site by scanning the QR code, or rejoin trying out the demo mode, which is built in to SAP Mobile Start. In order to get back to the demo, I will simply do that, but I would also obviously be able to connect to one of the other sites. That already concludes my demo, and with that, I would like to hand over back to Esme.
Great. Thank you so much, Robert, for sharing this. And I think it was a great way to see how the latest innovations from Mobile Start are providing more enhanced communications, also these additional options for onboarding users, and also leveraging AI to really reduce the manual work and streamline document processing. So I think now then we can switch gears a little bit from the user experience over to the developer side of things. And without further ado, I can hand it over now to Sebastian, who's going to take us through MCP servers. So Sebastian, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, so I'm from the development side of the house more, so my demo will be, or my slot will be a little bit more technical. Sorry for that, you're going to see a lot of code. We at SAP Build, we've introduced 3 MCP servers recently. Here are the blog posts and the NPM modules related to these 3 servers, and you can then follow up on those when we share the slides later on. So basically we have 3 parts. One is from the SAP Cloud Application Programming Model, or CAP. That's where I'm from. And then, so for the backend side, basically. And then we have 2 MCP servers for the front-end side, one for Fiori Elements, and the other one for Freestyle UI5 applications. All 3 of them actually are open source, so proving SAP's commitment also there. And yeah, you can check out the modules, of course, on NPM, but also on github.com directly if you're interested. Quick setting the stage. Maybe not everybody is familiar with what MCP is, what it stands for, what the use case is. So basically, we're setting the stage. We're talking about agentic coding, basically, or AI-assisted coding, right? And that means that you have some tool locally, or could be an IDE like Cursor, could be a plugin like Klein, or all these sorts of things. So all these lists here, of course, are non-exclusive. I just have some examples here. And these tools then, that these AI agents that help you with the coding, they talk to the large language models. And in order to, however, improve the outcome of what they can achieve, there are also these specific tools that they can use, and that's what we call the MCP server. So that's basically really a toolbox for these AI agents to better understand your project, to interact with your local machine. They have file system access, they can browse the web, they have network access, they can use the terminal, and so on and so forth, right? And then we add our MCP servers into that toolbox to better guide the AI assistants in coding. And this is done using this model context protocol, or MCP. It's a standardized interface for AI tools. It's extensible, so you basically, as a developer, have under control which MCP servers you want to use in your work. And at the end, the goal is really to enhance developer experience, improve the outcomes, especially now for us, of course, when it comes to the ecosystem of SAP BTP or SAP Build. So you can really achieve better results quicker. And for that, then I would directly actually jump to my demo. Oh, no, sorry. Gonna first give some more details on the MCP server. Maybe this one is a lot better, than you understand what's gonna be happening. Actually, so again, I'm from the CAP side of the house, so I'm going to give you details on this one. And we have 2 tools in this toolbox that we provide to the AI agent, and that is one called Search Model. That allows really your AI agent to understand your project, because it scans the file system for the CDS files that that's where your domain model is, compiles them on the fly, so it has the schema and service info. It knows basically which data services will exist, on which path they are going to be served, and so forth. By the way, this is not even though the demo is going to be Node.js, because I'm from the Node.js side of the house inside CAP, works the same for Java. Okay, so it's not, even though it's an NPM module, so it's in that's just the way these MCP servers are published in general. This works for CAP Java as well. Right, and then so based on this information that we compile on the fly, based on your domain model in the CDS files, we can then run fuzzy searches with different kinds of distance determinations in order to then find the relevant definitions, entities, services, and so forth that the AI agent then needs, right? So at the end, basically, if you, and we'll see that in the demo, if you give the AI agent a task, it needs to understand where to apply the task in your project. So be it modeling, be it coding, so on and so forth. So that's what the search model tool does. The second tool is the search docs tool. And what we do here is actually we give you a vector embedding file of CapHire, our documentation, and we make it basically searchable for the AI agent by comparing these query string that the AI agent basically will generate in order to fulfill the task and calculate the cosine similarity with these doc embeddings. And then we can give the AI agent basically the most relevant documentation, and more importantly, maybe even best practice code snippets. So it's nothing other than what we have publicly on the website already. If you know our documentation, we try to be very practical and have lots of code snippets. So it's really only that content, not more. Of course, could grow in the future, but really just giving basically the AI agent access in a way it can utilize best our documentation. But now really to the demo. I am, for the demo, now going to use the IDE cursor, but that's just the one I'm currently experimenting with. So no, I don't want to have this interpreted as any kind of direction or something. Really, as the disclaimer. Okay, and we have this new chat now. On the left side, you'll see the file system. I have one backup thing that I generated yesterday evening, just if everything goes horribly wrong, because with AI, you never know what happens. And I have an agents MD, and this agents MD is basically a rule set. So it basically tells, I'll try to create this a little bit bigger. You're going to need that, but that's also explained in the blog post. Basically, guidelines to the AI agent for how it's supposed to use the MCP servers, right? We'll try to minimize that. And now I'll just start and say, create a new CAP project to manage orders, and order items. So just give it that information, and it's going to start thinking. We'll say, okay, I'm supposed to use the MCP server. You can see it's now going to invoke this search docs tool that our MCP server provides. And now you can see that it does things on the console, basically. So it doesn't, it understood it's supposed to do a CDS init with order management. So that will create a folder. And of course, the CDS init is our CLI command to bootstrap a new project. And if you're we can actually live look into what's being generated on the file system. And I'll try to make this a little bit bigger like this, right? So typically a CAP project, you will have a database folder with some domain model schema. And then you will have a service folder where you have the higher level application services, we call them, that are then served, for example, via data. Okay, so you'll see this is the data model right here. And here on the slide, you have then the simple order service that exposes this orders and order items so they can be accessed with. You can also see that they opened a terminal here. And okay, we can also see already that the AI agent actually started up here. You see using CDS Watch, our again CLI tool to bootstrap and start up a CAP server with a in-memory SQLite database on the fly. And the tool also knows that it's supposed to do that. And it's actually, if we look here, doing some curl commands. So those are HTTP calls to the server that is served at localhost. So it automatically basically does testing as well. And typically, yes, I get this nice summary at the end of what it did. It tells me, okay, I can navigate to these endpoints in order to look at some things. So let's actually do that. Just have to bring up the window right now. Right, so we see what it actually did. So this is the standard index page that we have. That's not generated by AI. That comes from us out of the box in development. So you can check what happens locally already. The server is still running, as you see. And if I just now do a GET request to get the list of orders, it also generated some dummy data for me or some test data. Okay, so I'll minimize that again. And now, first of all, keep all of the changes. So, of course, very, very, very important. If you do agentic coding, always review, of course, what gets generated. Don't just blindly accept it. Of course, I'm gonna now trust the AI more in this demo for time reasons, but really important. Always keep check of what it does. Looking at this domain model now, it's always different each time, right? It's not deterministic. So we see we have an entity orders, which has order number, a customer, order date, stuff. And I see, okay, it has a status, which is a string. So let's say we want to enhance that. And this is now where really the things comes in. So bootstrapping projects, you can script rather good. But modifying projects is really where the MCP support for the AI agents kick in. So let's say I want to make status an enum. Sorry. So also on purpose, I'm trying to be rather vague with my prompts, just because of course, I can improve the outcome if I'm more specific. But again, for demo purposes, just try to see really how powerful these tools can be if you combine them. Because you see, again, it uses our search docs tool, and the parameters it will pass is then up here. Where is it? Show more down here. I'm not sure. Here it is. Okay, so it queries our search doc functionality, says enum type definition CDS. That's basically the search string it gives us. And we then now again compute the nearest, or we determine the nearest match in the documentation and the samples in order to provide the AI agent basically with the best practices on what to do. Okay, now we can again review what it did, the changes before we accept it. It says, okay, status is not a string anymore. It's of type order status. So green is the new, red is the old version that you can see in parallel here. It still says new is the default state. And then up here we see, okay, it defined an enum with 4 values, new, processing, completed, and canceled. Also keep all of those again. Now let's say, okay, I somehow, if we still have here in the order service, just the plain entities on which we can do our CRUD operations, right? So, but I also now want to somehow add some business logic to the whole thing. So let's say add an action to set a new order, to processing. Okay. Let's see what it's doing. It's planning its next move, right? It's also very chatty and interactive and always tells you what it's doing. So let's see what happens now. in the schema CDS on the database, nothing should happen actually, but we're going to have something here in the service, right? Okay, we already have this. So you can see that it now understood that this action should be bound to the entity orders, right? Not just somehow, yeah, it's always specific to one order instance. So that, and for in then CDS model, those are then called bound actions, which it models correctly. It decided to name it set to processing. And now what is actually maybe more interesting is that it also now generated a service.js file. So it understood or decided that it does not only need to define something, but it also has to implement this action. And if we look at this now, yeah, you can see that it has a first it bootstraps basically the service at the top, and it gets the orders entity from this entities pointer to basically the domain model it can use, and then it says, okay, this is the service at the end on, meaning when somebody invokes the set to processing action, this code gets executed. And then what it does, we just want to look at it a little bit. So it's going to select the one order from the database. If the identifier of the that came in from the outside, of course, this is client input, can be invalid. Could be an invalid ID. It first says, okay, if I can't find an order, then obviously we have a not found error. And then it will check also if the order is not new. It will say, okay, sorry, you can't set anything to processing. That's not new, right? So, and then at the end, it will do actually the update statement against the database. So really set the status to processing. This on the first glance, this looks actually pretty good already. Again, keep those changes. Right, so we have now our domain model. We have an action on the order to do something really in logic that is also generated and looks rather okay. And now for us to maybe use it and also to maybe show what the other MCPs can do, I will say add a Fiori elements app for managing orders. So, okay, now let's let it think a little bit again. Try to make this bigger. If you're familiar with CAB project setups, you're going to have your UIs in this app folder. So if we open this, it should add some more content to that. I'm thinking a little bit. You can see it's always also restarting the server on the fly, but that's actually not the AI agent. That's our watch functionality. Basically, the CLI, it understands or it detects when there are changes in the file system and decides then to reboot the server on the fly. And you see, yeah, the changes are rolling in. We have now an order management UI folder where things are being generated. Excellent, it's been generated. Now I need to install dependencies. Okay, it's doing that. Give that another second or two to complete. Okay, verifying the structure. While it verifies the structure, we should already be able to check it out. So if we refresh here, no, it's not sorry. Server's not running right now. Being restarted. Okay, now it's here, and we see that we got some web applications added here. Let's see what happens if I go here to the index. I have to kind of get away from this. Okay, sorry. Add some Zoom pop-ups in the way. So we have this UI now. It's okay, sure, it's still rather blank, especially when it comes to like custom strings and whatever. The order number is still the technical name and not what you probably want to see on the UI. There we got restarted again. Sorry about that. But yeah, so we have a list of orders here. Again, these are the sample data. And now let's say, okay, I'm gonna look at this one. It's new in new status. And now I somehow want to set it to processing, right? So we don't have anything to do that yet on the UI. So let's say add a button to start processing an order. So let's see if it can connect this prompt to what it did earlier. Okay, see, it identified the set to processing action that needs to be invoked. Now generating the necessary UI annotations. So if you're not familiar with Fiori Elements, it's a very annotation-based generic framework, right? So rather than writing front-end coding, you add instructions to the framework via annotations. And let's see if there's something. So we got a start processing button up here. It's always a little bit risky while it's still working and may restart the server a couple of times, but nevertheless, I'm going to push the button. Okay, we see something happened. Status is still new, probably still lacking auto refresh, so I'll refresh manually. Okay, now exactly that happened, but I said it restarted because it detected some more file system changes. So we'll just have to do that again. Sorry about that. We will go here again into the Acme Corporation, that's status new. Start processing, status has not updated yet here on the UI, but if I refresh once, then we see the status is on processing. So again, my next step would then probably be to tell the MCP server to add some UI update logic. And then going back to the beginning, so the Acme Corporation order is processing as we had. And I don't know, let's go to the text start completed one. Just as a negative test, they start processing, right? So as expected, we get an error message, right? We cannot set an order to processing that is currently in status completed. So business logic worked as well. And I think with that, I'll looking at the time, I have 10 more minutes. I think I'll give back to Ashmi and for Q&A, maybe one last remark. All of these three MCP servers are still kind of in an experimental stage, but regardless of that, we are always interested in feedback, right? So if you try those out, please don't be shy and provide any feedback to us. If something is not working, you can do it via the blog post, for example, in the SAP community or on the GitHub repositories. As I said, it's open source, everything. So yeah, thank you very much, and handing over to you, Ashmi.